guys, this part of the video is going to be our tip section. Now, one of the things I'm going to show in this video is how I make these smaller swim baits. When I first started, I didn't know if I would like this portion of making baits, so I didn't buy a big mold. Now I do have a mold coming on the way where I can make multiple of these baits, but it's the little small. They're 2.5 inches long, real thin profile. They're perfect for finesse fishing, and they're also perfect for throwing for crappie on road runners and things like that. But first I'm going to show you exactly how we make them and go through the whole process. So the first thing we got to do is we put our plastic into the microwave, and we want to get it to about 300 and in between 300 and 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's take a look at that right now. All right, I know my head's cut off a little bit here, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our plastic going. We need to get it between 300 and 350 degrees. Any hotter than that, you'll scorch it and it will turn into an absolute mess. But the first thing I like to do is to make these, and here they are right here. This is one I just made. We're going to take, this is how I do it. I put 1 drop of oil into the mold. Now this is a 2-piece mold. I do have some multi-cavity molds coming, but at this moment in time I do not have those. So you're gonna oil the mold. It makes it easier when you oil it, that the bait comes out, and because they're so little and so tiny, if they don't come out easily, they can tear. So we're gonna put this mold together, and we're gonna clamp it. Very strong clamps here, and this keeps it so when you pour it, when you shoot the mold, it doesn't shoot out and come out of the seams. Now we have to get our injector ready. This is some old plastic. We'll reuse it, we'll remelt it down. And I'm really starting to enjoy this part of the fishing, because I have some different things here where I have created some baits that show up better on Livescope, and you may see those in the very near future, maybe with a very, very prominent company. So just keep your eye out for those. But right now, we're going to put our injector back together. And we got our plastic out. Now, this is a Pyrex jar, Pyrex deal. You want to stir it up. You want to be kind of in a ventilated area, but you want to get it up there, 300 to 350 degrees. Let's see how hot it is. About 350 degrees. So that's right on the edge of where you want it to be. Any hotter than that, it will scorch it, and you will not want to see the mess. So we stirred it up real good. I just used a butter knife. Everybody I've seen, and the guy on World's Worst Fishing, who is the most awesome bait maker there is out there, he just uses a butter knife. And so you stir that up. You want to make sure you try to be smooth with it around the corners where you don't create the bubbles. And you can see that's going to be a beautiful smoked pearl. If we look, let's see if I can get that down in there. That you can see that iridescent, and that's what we're looking for. That beautiful smoked pearl, iridescent look to it. So what we do is we take that, we take our injector, we're going to draw it up inside the injector. Now we'll take this right here, we'll put it very square right there. We just put just good even pressure. It doesn't take much plastic to make these. And when it stops, you just want to hold a little pressure. That way it kind of presses all the air out. Now, when you pull it off, you'll need to actually fill up the top of the mold with a little bit of extra plastic, because as it cools, it will draw up inside there. Then what I do is I shoot the rest of it back into here, and we'll set that aside. And you have to end up pulling this out of the injector But all you do is throw it right back into your mold, and it'll remelt, and you can remelt it down. You can use this if you have old baits, like this is one I've made. This is an injection mold that we use right here, that you can inject. These are like 3-inch, I believe that's what they are, 3-inch rage tail type swimmers. Really awesome. Matter of fact, I've caught so many fish on these, it's unreal. Matter of fact, most of the fish in this video were caught on this and this little bitty swimmer here. And so you can reuse them. You know, if I tear it up, that's not trash. That's a brand new one I just made. You just drop it back in there, remelt it down to the proper temperature, and it will, you come out and remake it again. You take all the plastic that you have on the butter knife, put it back in there. All the plastic left in this, like we just showed you, goes back in there. And as you let it cool, you'll notice the top of this mold is starting to sink in. As that plastic cools, it contracts. So you want to have enough inside that area, that cavity, or the sprue as they call it, to be able to draw into there and to complete the you know, where there's no voids inside the plastic. Heat is your friend, from what I'm understanding with these molds. Even with those molds, those plastic molds. Now this, I won't use this mold much more because I do have one on the way that's going to take the place. It's going to have multi-ejections where I can pour these in bunches of 10. You know, so so when we, you know, be able to pour them in bunches of 10, you can make them a lot easier. Hence, all of these raid swimmers. Now, these, while we're waiting on it to cool, are hand poured. I hand pour these with this particular mold right here, and it's a hand pour. Looks very similar to a Scottsboro minnow. Really awesome. And like I said, I've got some that I have figured out a method for making them show up better under live sonar, so you'll get to see that also. But now we've poured this, and let's see, still not quite cool enough. But we'll go ahead and remove the mold, remove the clamps just for it. And what we do is, now we put the oil on there as we did in the beginning. Now what we do is, we'll go ahead and pull it apart. Now the oil allows that area of the tail to come out very easily because it is very, very, very thin. Now, as it's thin, now what we do is we go into this area right here where the sprue meets the swim bait and just pop it off. Oh, plastic there. Throw your sprue back in there, and you'll be able to look on the tail right here. It's hard to see on the camera, but the there's little bitty pieces of plastic just from an imperfect mold. These molds are never going to be as good as, say, the molds that they mill, or the aluminum cast molds. They're never going to be as awesome. But here you go. Let's see if we can get the camera to focus on that. That is absolutely a killer on the back of a Roadrunner. Now, it's ain't but 2.5 inches long. Notice, there's my finger. It's about 2.5 inches long. It's perfect on the back of a Roadrunner. So we made one of those, and so you can look. If I were really going at it and really pouring baits, you can make as many of these in an hour as you want to make. And like I said, the more you make, the hotter the mold gets. It seems like the better that it actually takes, and so the baits come out a lot better. So there we have it. You know, you see me make these. These are in the show. These rage tail swimmers are in the show. I throw these a lot on my A-rigs. I throw them in a pearl color, which is this color right here. I actually make that. I actually have a pearl smoke multi-layer laminate. Those are awesome on the A-rig. And I have 2 new molds that'll be here, 6-inch hand pours I'll be offering, and 4-inch hand pours. I'm not trying to do this for a living, might do it for a little extra few dollars. If y'all are interested in getting a bunch of these, you just let me know in the comments or email me at thegarminguru@gmail.com, and we'll get to it. But guys, thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying this video. This is just a little bit of inside information. I'm having to duck my head because of where the camera's at, but a little inside information as to how I make a lot of my baits, because I would rather make a bait and catch a fish on it than not and then buy it. It's so much more fun. The one thing I'll tell you is you're not going to save a whole lot of money because the initial investment for like this mold is $50. The hand pour from Angler AI is I think they're $100. Some of them are $70. But those big hand pours, those are beautiful. You can do so much with the colors and everything like that. So let's get back to the video right now.